The St. Louis Cardinals, one of baseball's greatest franchises, has featured some of the most dynamic duos this great game has ever seen. Stan and Red, Lou and Gibby, Ozzie and Willie, and Yachty and Wayno. From magical moments to championship runs, these iconic twosomes are forever linked together in our minds. Today, living legends Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright make history once more as they take the field as battery mates for the 325th time, a Major League record. It's Yachty and Wayno together again.
This is St. Louis Cardinals baseball. A historic night in the major leagues right here in the Gateway City. It is game number 2 of the brief 2-game set. The Milwaukee Brewers and the St. Louis Cardinals. And welcome to the broadcast booth. I'm Dan McLaughlin. That's the Cardinals Hall of Famer Jim Edmonds. And Jim Hayes is with us as well. It is start number 325 together as battery mates in regular season play for Wayno and for Yachty. Truly a historic mark being made tonight.
Historic, unbelievable. I mean, you could list things on and on and on, and look what this duo has done together. Two guys, two different walks of life, but since day one, they have come together, and 325 starts later, tonight, a Major League record.
So it all began in 07. It culminates with 325 tonight. And they do their best when it counts. Postseason play, certainly, but inside the division, we included the Astros, that great rivalry with Houston and St. Louis that you know about, Jimmy, and those two are outstanding.
And by the way, even if you go to the Astros, look at the record there. Those are probably the best teams that we played against in all of those times. So truly remarkable, like you said, when it counts, and it's going to be a lot of fun tonight.
Yachty and Wayno, number 325 tonight. And history is coming up. The Cardinals, the Brewers on Bally Sports. And a packed house at Busch Stadium, here to witness history. Yachty and Wayno. And start number 325 is just around the corner. Telecast tonight. Former teammates, family members, give their thoughts on what is a historic night at Busch Stadium.
Hey everyone, this is Trey Wainwright, Adam's brother, here to add my congratulations to Adam and Yachty on tonight's record-setting milestone. Of all of your amazing accomplishments, this record is one that may stand forever.
I just want to congratulate Adam and Yachty on a tremendous feat, 325 starts together, so awesome. Congratulations, guys. I wish I could be there to see it. I love you guys, two of my favorite teammates and friends. I miss you guys. I can't wait to watch tonight.
Wayno, Yachty, congratulations, guys. What an accomplishment, breaking this record. It's going to be so fun to watch tonight, and I'm just so proud to call you guys friends and teammates. Look forward to watching you guys break this again. Congratulations, guys.
Brought to you by Budweiser. This Bud's for you. By Chevrolet, the #1 selling brand in the St. Louis area. Find yours at your Mid-America Chevy dealer. And by Car Shield. Car Shield cars go farther. Nearly 2 decades of excellence comes together tonight. Start number 325 together. Adam Wainwright, Yadier Molina. The all-time Major League record of 325 starts as battery mates. And linked by what they have done on the baseball diamond, linked together through friendship, and linked together as brothers. Yachty with the special helmet. He and Waino at the top. The number 4 and 50 on each side as Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina will make history here tonight. With start number 325, it'll pass Mickey Lolich and Bill Freehan of Detroit nearly 50 years ago. Wainwright on the season, a record of 10-9 with an ERA of 3.33. And he's coming off a couple of subpar starts for Waino and trying to bounce back. This duo, in terms of team victories when they start, 212. That also a major league record. There was a Hyundai pitch arsenal. And Ali Marmol, not a bad opening act for your first season as a manager. Good team, a chase for 700. History here tonight with two living legends here in Major League Baseball. The first batter of the night will be Christian Yelich, and with that pitch, it will be history. Yelich, Adames, Tellez, Renfroe, Wong, McCutchen, Peterson, Narvaez, and Tyrone Taylor. Gazing into Yachty, gets the sign in the first pitch. A strike, and with that pitch, Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright have set the all-time record. They have made the most starts as battery mates in the history of Major League Baseball, number 325, a number that will never be reached again. Start number 325. And the 0-1 is tapped foul, 0-2. Jimmy, you know these two so well. Great friends of yours, teammates. What a moment.
Danny, I don't even want to say anything. I feel like I'm sitting at home listening to you talk, watching the game on TV. This is such an amazing, amazing moment for both of these guys. I'm going to sit back and let you do your thing for a minute because I'm taking it all in.
And a strikeout to start the game, with emotions running high here in this first inning. It brings in Willie Adames, one home run shy of the Brewers' shortstop record for homers held by Robin Yount. And he leads Milwaukee in runs batted in, runs scored, and doubles. Adames 1 for 15 head-to-head against Adam Wainwright. It all began, their first appearance together, September 23rd of 2005. In relief, Adam Wainwright, ironically enough, against Milwaukee. And here we are nearly 17 years later. The 0-1 pitch. Line foul, 0-2. Waino that day would face three batters. All three would fly out. And the best was yet to come with old Uncle Charlie. And the 0-2 pitch. And a grounder, chopped left side, but foul. Adam Wainwright has only pitched to 17 other major league catchers. Incredibly. It's been he and Yachty in this wonderful ride for all of us here in St. Louis. With Molina behind the plate, his ERA is 3.21. All other catchers 4.06. Works from that first base side of the rubber. And the 0-2 pitch. Tapped up the third base line, rolling fair, and an infield hit for Willie Adames.
I feel like they just can't get this young man out. It doesn't matter what you do. His line drives to right, homers to right, doubles in the gap.
Pretty amazing there, too, with 2,136 at 2/3 innings pitched. That is updated with the strikeout to start the ball game tonight. And barely over 400 innings with everybody else. That's incredible.
I mean, you really think about it, that's beyond incredible. And Put it in perspective. Most guys barely get 30 starts. I don't even know if they do that anymore. We're talking 10 plus years of not missing a start for a pitcher and have your catcher there with you every single night and then some. I mean, that's unheard of.
So to put it in perspective, Jimmy, Waino missed 11. He had the other season where he was hurt in Milwaukee with the Achilles. You had the shortened season of 2020. We could be talking about 400 starts with these two guys. Beautiful pitch in for a strike, 0-2. Tellez has grounded into 18 double plays this year. But this number 325, they will forever be linked to that and then some. And it'll be a number that will never be matched again in this game. And the 0-2 pitch. And a base hit into center. Rounding second, Adames on his way to third, and runners at the corners. So you have an infield hit, then a ball off the end of the bat, and it brings in Hunter Renfroe.
Just staying on that ball as long as you can. And big, strong, hit the ball off the end of the bat. What do I always say? Just find a little bit of grass out there somewhere. There's a lot of room out there, especially as deep as most of these guys play.
And the batter, Hunter Renfroe, 2 for 5 last night. 25 home runs. Waino would love the double play here. And a fly ball. Long way to go. Burleson won't get there. Drops in foul. If you're wondering, through all the hoopla, and understandably so, Albert Pujols is in the lineup tonight to add a little bit more intrigue to this ball game. As if there wasn't enough.
I was already going with the call that he'd probably end up going deep on a night like this because, I mean, why not?
Just add to it.
It's just what they do.
Here's the 0-1 pitch, fouled back. Wainwright has thrown 12 pitches. All 12 have been strikes. Been talking about it recently where it's been tough for, at times, his arm to catch up with his body or vice versa. He's just been a little bit out of sync his last couple of starts. One of his best starts of the year was against Milwaukee. 1 run in 9 innings. The 3-2 10-inning win for St. Louis.
He has this knack of finding it at some point, and if he can't find it, he finds what's working.
Off the plate, Eric Backus, our home plate umpire. Paul Emmel, the crew chief, at first. Bruce Dreckman at second. Pat Hoiberg is down at third. Cardinals playing in game number 143. And the 1-2 pitch kept in front by Yachty. How many times have we said that over the years? A runner at third, you can bounce a ball and Yachty keeps it in front.
You know how like the radio station has all the buttons that you can push for like little quickies? You could have like a little thing right here and you could just push the button and be like, kept in front by Yachty, kept in front by Yachty.
Yachty throws, he's out. That's another one.
Save your voice.
That's right.
Sure, Dusty from the Bull would be proud to hear you say that.
And the 2-2. And again, tapped foul.
You can kind of see right here a lot of pitches out over the plate. They're trying to stay on that breaking ball. He's going to have to get in underneath the hands of some of these right-handers because that is the only reason that they will be allowed to stay on the breaking ball. They have to be able to have some respect for that fastball in, even if it's a ball.
A little bit of a shift on the left side and a 2-2 pitch. Check swing and did not go. Typically this year, Wainwright goes off speed on a 3-2, and that means a curveball. And with his curveballs, 69% of those have been strikes. You can throw it at any time in the count.
What's funny is you'll see right away what he likes to work with. It might not happen a lot in the first inning, second inning, but as the game goes on, you're definitely going to see it.
Swing and a miss.
You called it. Didn't know if he was ready for it because of the foul balls and the base hit and the feel still early on in the game, but when you need it, he goes to it. Look at how far in front the hitter is right there. And Renfroe, he's just like, you've got to be kidding me.
And once again, a nice round of applause for the former Cardinal, Colton Wong. The all-time leader in steals with a stolen base last night at Busch 3. Just one ahead of Tommy Edman, who had 2 stolen bases. The first pitch hit out of play. Wong is 5 for 19, a couple of doubles and a triple against his former teammate. Milwaukee at 76 and 66, and 7 games back of St. Louis in the Central. The 0-1. Got the knob of the bat, I believe, so nothing at 2. A chance to get out of this.
There's a spot right here where, you know, Colton's going to try to do the 2-strike hack. He's got a couple pitches right here to work with. One up, breaking ball down. In what order would you like to use that today? And I'm thinking that the fastball up, maybe in, could be the pitch. But if you get too much plate, that's what we talked about last night. He'll just flip it out into left field and could be a base hit.
The 0-2. Just missed on the outside corner.
Through that cutter he used to throw so much with the little bit bigger break down and into lefties, like the Carpenter cutter. He doesn't throw that as much anymore. The cutter is flattened out a little bit, but that is the perfect spot for it right here. Down and in, underneath him. He's going to probably go fastball here. But when a guy like this, like Colton, he's going to sit back and really wait and just try to put a ball in play, you have to attack.
Two balls, 2 strikes.
I go right back in there.
Runners at the corners. Underway in this historic night for this battery. The 2-2. Runner from first off with the next pitch. It'll be Rowdy Tellez, 3-2 with 2 down. The runner down at third is Willie Adames.
Well, Danny, here's your chance. They used to say if you're going to throw a 3-1, you better be ready to throw a 3-2, and you already set the bar high. So see if that breaking ball's coming now or not.
And here we go. Tellez.
Looks like he's going to go back
running.
in.
Pitch is taken high, and the bases are loaded. So the first walk issued by Wainwright, and it brings in Andrew McCutchen, who has had a long history against Adam Wainwright and a productive history. .325 average against Waino in 77 at bats. He homered here last night, was 2 for 5, and drove in 3.
Well, I think I noticed a little bit in that last cutter that he was trying to throw that cutter we were talking about, and he got off to the side of it. If you didn't see that yourself, Danny, and that's why the ball was up and didn't really move. He's not getting on top of the ball like he normally does. Watch this pitch right here. You see the cutter? See, it's not really cutting and not spinning. It's backing up, and then so it doesn't finish inside.
Bases loaded, and the 1-0 pitch to McCutchen. Ryan Braun faced Waino 102 times, hit .208 against him. McCutchen 84. He's mixed in some walks, so 77 at bats. Votto 77 times, .318 the average. Rizzo, Phillips right around 70. So these two have seen each other for a long, long time. McCutchen with Pittsburgh. Then back in the Central with Milwaukee, and the 1-1 pitch. Curveball, little check swing. Waino's got it. Underhands. Molina debuted in 2004 Waino 05. And on September 14th of the 2022 season, they make history together. The all-time record, start number 325, is battery mates. Two of their favorites in Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright. And history with start number 325. Corbin Burnes is on the mound, and so this is a tough test for St. Louis hitters. And Tommy Edman, first crack at him, comes in with a 14-game hitting streak. 270 now on the year in the first pitch. Fastball in for a strike. Lineup has Edman, Dickerson, and Goldie, then Arenado, Donovan, and Pujols, Burleson, Molina, and Nootbaar. Edman 5 for 22 head-to-head. 0-2. 27-year-old from Bakersfield, California, Corbin Burnes. The Brewers have won all 3 starts in which he's been on the mound against St. Louis. And Burnes himself 2-0 with a .43 ERA. And the Hyundai pitch arsenal, Jimmy, you're talking about one of the elite cutters in the game.
And well, we've already seen 3 of the pitches, basically. The cutter early. You know what's crazy if you watch this, the pitch arsenal is, and that last pitch was the sinker. But he's throwing a 96-mile-an-hour fastball right there. But he's throwing a 96-mile-an-hour cutter also.
So how do you tell the difference?
As a left-handed hitter, the only thing that you can do is if anything is in, you have to take, because you have to expect it to chase you. Now, if he makes an adjustment and stays straight in there, you tip your hat. If it's a sinker and runs back, which he doesn't do it very often, you tip your hat, but you got to stay on that right there. You have to look out there. You have to. You almost have to forget that the inside part of the plate is there, because if you chase that, you are finished, finished, finished. Not fun. And this is what happens when you start thinking about the inside. You can see the butt start to go out, thinking about being quick, and then just straight fastball on the outside, but that ball is painted down and away, and nothing you can do about it.
Last 5 starts. Here's Corey Dickerson. Burnes is 2-1. ERA near 6. But last time out, he struck out a season high 14 against the Giants.
I'd sometimes watch this guy. Don't know how he ever gets hit. I just don't understand it. I mean, that's 97 straight fastball. That's not a sinker yet. That's just he's throwing it out there. He's gone 96 with the cutter and 92 with the sinker that ran all over the place. And then 90 with the changeup. It looks like, like the the guns that shoot the T-shirts? You don't really get to see kind of any arm action, or like the old school potato guns.
Comes flying out.
It looks like he just points at you and just poof, pulls the trigger, and here comes the ball.
Kind of reference it as how a ball is jumping out of a pitcher's hand, and this guy has got it. It's on you in a hurry.
You just don't see a lot of arm action. It's almost like that old school pitching machine with the wheels, and all you can see is the guy put the hand behind the wheel, and all of a sudden the ball comes shooting out. That's your timing. Well, that's kind of what it's like hitting against like a guy like this with such short arm, late action movement and velocity. I always say that makes the fastball look at least 2 to 3 miles an hour faster than it actually is.
The 1-2, and Dickerson hits it out of play. So I would assume offensively a game plan is, hey, try to get deep into counts if you can, but it's tough if he gets strike 1 on you.
I mean, look at this. Look where his arm is. You don't see it until right there. I mean, he's doing you a favor by throwing the curveball. Here's the game plan for me. Choke up, look for a pitch down the middle, and stay on it. Don't try to do anything else. Wear him out, foul pitches off, base hits up the middle, and have good at-bats, and hopefully start to time him up a little bit. You cannot take big swings, because the big swing with a guy like this doesn't catch up.
What's crazy, Jimmy, every time we put up what you would think would be a really tough matchup, Corey Dickerson against so many good pitchers has very good numbers. 4 for 8, and of those 4 hits, a pair of doubles. And he strikes out here, back-to-back Ks.
See that sinker, though? I mean, you fastball in, cutter in, fastball, curveball, and then the sinker just explodes away. Look at this ball move. See if you can see right here. Two-seamer. Actually, this is a two-seam changeup, and it just takes off.
Goldie in a little bit of a rut, but this might be the team to do it against to get out of it. Not sure it's the right pitcher. 17 home runs, 46 runs batted in against the Brewers since he joined the Cardinals. Most in baseball.
I mean, look at that ball right there. Ooh, that's 96 with probably at least 6 inches of movement from letting go of it to the way where the ball is caught.
Outfield deep straight away. And a breaking ball in.
I'm telling you, if I have to face this guy 3 or 4 times a year, I would go get video and watch every single pitch that he throws for an entire year and try to pick up one little nugget and wait for that to happen.
1-2 the count. Burns recently has talked about the fact that he would love a contract extension, has not heard anything yet of the sort. Somewhat frustrated, I would imagine. The 1-2 on a hop to second baseman Colton Wong, and he'll make the play. And the Cardinals go 1-2-3. Waino and Yachty back at it when we come back. Yachty and Waino, more on that. Let's check in with Jim.
What do you say, Cat?
Danny, as Waino and Yachty set a major league record that may never be broken, their teammates realize how lucky they are to see it up close. That includes Jack Flaherty. Flaherty told me, I think there's just a trust and honesty between those two that they've been able to grow forever. To be honest, it's something every pitcher hopes to have. Jack said to watch the way they work, the way they go about their business, and to see them together on the field, it's really something different. We all learn from them, and we're lucky to be able to witness it. Danny, Jack, grateful to be around those two guys.
All right, Jimmy, thank you. Here's Jace Peterson. That was clearly evident a couple of starts ago. Waino said after the game, I basically didn't have anything. And he was taken out of the game early. And some of that was due in part to Yachty going to Ollie and saying, he doesn't have very much. You might want to get him.
You're like, thanks. I appreciate the vote of confidence.
Hey, that's what trust is. Good pitch in on the hands of Jace Peterson.
You're just hoping that doesn't happen a lot during the course of the year.
So Waino at home, 16 starts, 6-3 and a 2.65 ERA. And an 0-2 pitch to Peterson. 5 lefties in the lineup tonight for Craig Counsell. Now time called.
So I think when you have that kind of a situation with an offense you're facing, the cutter almost has to be a must. It's almost like sinker cutter, sinker cutter.
And a base hit into left. Another 2-strike hit here for Milwaukee.
Right.
Cardinals defense around the horn, presented by Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers. Molina behind the plate. Arenado, Edman, Donovan, Goldie on the infield. Dickerson, Nootbaar, and Burleson in the outfield. Omar Narvaez is 3 for his last 36. But good numbers against Adam Wainwright, 8 for 22 and a home run. Corners are in, and the first pitch taken high and outside. The 1-0 pitch outside, 2 balls and no strikes. The command not quite there as we saw earlier in the season, but his ability to make adjustments, we mentioned that so much and so often throughout the season, is second to none. Cardinals with a shift on the infield. The 2-0 pitch, and there's a strike, 2-1. Dodgers last night clinched their 9th NL West title in the past 10 years in Arizona. And the Diamondbacks had security to make sure that they could not go in the pool and celebrate.
Oh, man.
That was a problem a few years ago, specifically when Mother Nature would call in the pool.
The best thing ever was when we clinched in Milwaukee one year, and they got mad at us, and they came down, and I think the general manager at the time said, "Hey, I understand, but I'm really disappointed." And he had a couple of guys like Cal and Mike and all of them, and they said, "Well, I'm just glad. I'm pretty sure it wasn't any of the guys that came up in our organization." And I was like, "Well, actually, sir, it was Matheny was the first one up there." And he just looked at me like, "What?"
He was leading the charge.
Yes, he was.
Was it Doug Melvin?
At the time, I think it was, but it was pretty funny because they were like, "Well, some of the guys that we've had around here would never do that to be disrespectful." And we were like, "We're not being disrespectful. We're just having fun." And we're like, "But actually, Mike started it."
3-2 pitch and a grounder foul. First base coach Quentin Berry had a hand on it. And already for Adam Wainwright, 36 pitches with nobody out here in this second inning. And a lot of 3-2 counts early on, too. Outfield is straight away. Arenado with the 2 strikes is backed up down at third. And the 3-2 pitch. Diving attempt by Donovan, and it's into center field. Peterson will go from first to third, and there's nobody out for Milwaukee. And that's the 4th hit already for the Brewers.
These guys are, I'm telling you, these guys are just hitting the ball all over the yard the last 2 nights and tonight already. Just anything down the middle, they're putting it in play and finding a hole.
And the batter will be Tyrone Taylor. 0 for 3 last night. "16 home runs, and he's driven in 46. The infield is back. 5 for 13, couple of home runs head-to-head against Adam Wainwright. And the first pitch missed in, and ball 1. Right-handers on the year hitting .263. The lefties .239 against Waino. And the 1-0 pitch off the plate. 2 balls and no strikes. So the last time that Wainwright saw Milwaukee, he was matched up with Corbin Burns, who went 7. Wainwright went 9. And he struck out 8 in that game.
I think when you're Waino right here, you can see he's really trying to stay on the edges, and you know why. He knows Corbin Burns is going to be very stingy giving up runs, and so he is trying to stay out of the middle of the plate, which is now causing him to get behind in the count a little bit. And you can see right now the pitch count unusually high for the second inning at 40.
The 2-1 pitch. The fly ball into right. Burleson is over. He'll make the catch. And the throw cut off by Goldie. Run scores. That's Jace Peterson. 1-0 Milwaukee.
It's a pretty good play and throw right there by Burleson, going over there in the corner. And it's funny when you see guys throw the ball and you think, oh, there's no way, just flip it in there, right? And then by the time Goldie catches that ball, he's almost closely could have relayed that to home. That was such a nice play. So a little sneaky play right there and get the ball in quickly.
Burleson was a two-way player in college. He was a pitcher and a good one.
That would explain the arm a little bit.
Well, you think about Yelich. Maybe you think about a double play here.
He's a guy that does not get the ball in the air nearly as much as he used to. The ball is on the ground a ton. You see the launch angle where it was, where it is now. It's a big difference in a game in which you're trying to elevate the ball, hit for power, hit home runs. It's grounded into 9 double plays this year. The runner at first, Narvaez. The 73rd game this year, Yelich has been in the leadoff position with a .403 on base percentage.
I'm surprised at that with the walks. Makes sense, but still don't really love this, like I called it yesterday, leadoff experiment. I'd stick him still in the middle of that order and ask him, hey, you got to drive in runs and you got to figure it out.
Spot not foreign to him under Craig Counsell. 260th time he has been in the leadoff position. 288 the average. And so he's been in the middle of their lineup and now at the top tonight.
I mean, he can run a little bit, but he's not a speed burner. You know what I mean? So just, I know they're trying to get him a lot of at bats and try to straighten him out.
Goldie playing behind the runner at first. Time is called. Ball game started with a called third strike on Yelich, and the 75th time that Waino has K'd the first batter of a game. And that is a franchise record. Bob Gibson second, 68. And the 1-2 pitch lined into center and a base hit. Narvaez to second base, and that's 3 hits in the inning and 5 in the game. And now a quick word from Great Southern Bank.
Big dreams can have a lasting impact, and your dreams deserve award-winning support. So go ahead and dream big. We'll be right there with you. Great support, Great Southern Bank.
Here's Willie Adames. And Minfield hits slowly up the third base line. His first time up. Runners at first and second with 1 out. And the first pitch taken for a ball inside. And the 1-0. So falling behind on a number of these hitters and unable to put him away. He's had a lot of 2-strike base hits already against him here tonight.
His mechanics are just not there right now. You can see he's falling off a little bit to the first base side, but what I'm seeing is he's falling off a little bit early, and every time you see that, the ball's up and stays up. Go back down. You got to get downhill.
In the air, right center. Nootbaar with the catch. Runner from second. Narvaez tagging up to third.
It's a weird thing about pitching. You can't aim downhill. You have to throw it downhill. So that means you have to stay up tall, no matter how tall or short you are, and get on top of the baseball and throw it downhill. If you try to get that chest forward and lean down and try to push it down there, the ball ends up going upward and staying flat. And that's exactly what he's getting himself into every now and then. And that's when you see the ball not spinning, cutting, or if it stays up and away.
Here's Rowdy Tellez, base hit to center. Leads Milwaukee in home runs with 30 this year. First pitch, a strike. Haven't seen that a lot here tonight either, the first pitch strike.
Yeah, and that was a better pitch. And I don't know if you noticed that too, but the fall off wasn't nearly as bad as the pitches before. So if he can't tighten it back up a little bit, get himself out of this.
A 1 pitch. All 5 hits have been with 2 strikes tonight. He's had 8 2-strike counts. One ball, 1 strike, 2 outs. Runners at first and third.
I just think some of that is just not being able to get strikes inside when he needs it. And a lot of the times they've been off the plate for balls.
And a curveball chopped to first, taken there by Goldie. Throughout the evening, hearing from former teammates on what is a special night here in St. Louis.
Hey guys, it's Matt Carpenter. Man, I just want to congratulate Adam and Yachty, two of the best guys I know, two of the greatest teammates I've ever had, on 325 starts together. Wow, it's incredible. It was a pleasure to be on the field for some of those, and I know we won a ton of them. And man, two of the best to ever do it. So happy for you guys. You've earned it. Congratulations. I love you guys. And congrats, man.
2-3 first inning with a pair of strikeouts, and now it's Nolan Arenado. Arenado with a drive into left center, and we're tied. Nolan on the first pitch in the bottom of the second with home run number 29.
Well, you asked about a game plan. This is how you do it. You sell out for a fastball when you get the opportunity. And you know who does it better than anyone? This guy right here. He will not allow himself to be late to a fastball when a guy on the mound is a fastball pitcher.
Into right center, and that ball is down off the bat of Brendan Donovan. Busch Stadium may collapse if Albert hits one. And here he comes. The quest for 700.
Albert.
Strike one.
You saw that one coming, didn't you?
He's nasty.
Corbin's like, I'm not doing that again.
No, sir. The 0-1. So meaningful to be at 697 home runs for Albert Pujols, the home run king of the Dominican-born players, Latin American players, has great meaning. Can he get 3 more to 700, become the 4th member of that club? The 0-2. It was career run number 799 for Arenado, and his 7th season with 150 or more hits, and he's tied it up, and Albert trying to put him on top for the first time tonight. The 0-2. A strikeout of Albert Pujols, 3rd tonight for Corbin Burns.
That is straight filth.
Dobbs Tire and Auto Centers around the horn. Yelich, Taylor, Renfroe in the outfield. Peterson, Adames, Wong, and Tellez on the infield. Narvaez behind the plate. Runner at first is Brendan Donovan. Here's Alec Burleson. And a check on Donovan back in safely. So since 2015, only Nolan Arenado, Paul Goldschmidt, Manny Machado have 7 seasons with 150 or more hits.
Watch Burleson right here. A little bit of Larry Walker in him, doesn't he?
A little bit.
That stance.
Picked up his first ever major league hit Sunday in Pittsburgh. I hadn't noticed that, but you're right.
I didn't notice it the other day in Pittsburgh either, and it just looks, maybe it's the white uniform, it's a little different. Maybe raise his hands up, but got some big shoes to fill, but it looks like it a little bit.
Got a ways to go.
Yeah, you can borrow those shoes, but you got to fill them up.
0-1 pitch. 0-2.
See a lot of the lefties coming off the ball. Worried about that cutter.
And the 0-2 pitch. Burles had a base hit the other way. Donovan to second. They'll run on Yelich all day. Burleson his second major league hit. The rookies making some noise here in the second inning.
Well, why not? You don't have to know anything about this guy. Just get a pitch over the plate and hit it. Pretty good job right there. So the adjustment, right? Pulls off a fastball, gets this little sinker, little changeup sinker away, pulls off of it, and literally falls out of the batter's box. Well, the next swing he takes, he stays on it, makes the adjustment, and that's what you have to do to be a good hitter.
Yadier Molina playing in his 247th career game against Milwaukee, most ever against the Brewers. One out, runners at the corners. Molina playing in game number 2,217 tonight. Third most in the history. The Cardinals franchise behind Brock and Stan the Man. The 1-0. 1 ball and 1 strike.
I think if you watch Albert's at bat and you're Yachty or you're Goldie, or obviously Arenado's got his own program with that homer, but you think, okay, I'm going to stay out over the plate and I'm going to try to make contact before he can bury one down and in. And until 2 strikes, I'm going to take down and in anyways. So you have to look out over the plate, look for the cutter, look for anything out there that ends up middle and go that way or middle. And then if he gets inside, he gets inside. You just have to tip your hat and move on.
Base hit out to left for Yachty. And the Cardinals go on top. It's 2-1. And a record-setting night for Yachty and Waino. He comes through to make it a 2-1 St. Louis lead.
And right there, like I said, if you're looking inside and you pull off, you can't hit this pitch. Yachty's looking out over the plate. You can see right there. His body doesn't really move a whole lot. Look where he finishes, Danny, right here. Look at his shoulders over the plate and running to first base. And he knows he made a bad pitch right there. That pitch isn't even a strike, and he knows he made a bad pitch.
Runners at first and second for Newbar. 4 for his last 26. The pitch off the plate. One thing the Cardinals will do with a base hit to left, they will run on Christian Yelich all day. And Newt, the propensity to slap the ball to left field.
I think you get some guys on that can run. You got to go. Take some chances. See if they can't get somebody to throw the ball around a little bit, make some mistakes. You never know. Remember that ball we saw past like 6 guys going from left field to home plate back to left field, from the Little League home run that Goldie hit in Milwaukee a few months back. We'll get some more of that action.
1-2.
Okay, that's a changeup right there, 89. That's harder than any pitch I think Waino's thrown tonight.
And he doesn't go to it very often. Mostly, sink it, 4-seamer.
It's weird because you see it in his hand that one time. He has a 2-seam grip, so when he throws the changeup, if it catches a seam, it acts like a sinker.
And Newbar did go on a strikeout, so first time through the lineup. 4 Ks for Corbin Burns. Mr. Clean Magic Stats And Corbin Burns, May 29th, 7 innings, struck out 11. June 20th, struck out 10. August 13th, another 7 innings in just 1 run.
Yeah,
he has been tough on the Cardinals.
That is not promising if you think about that. You got to do whatever it takes. I compare this guy to like you're facing Roger Clemens.
So runners at first and second. Tommy Edman, and a pitch off the plate. He struck out looking on a fastball first time up. Big gap in left center. 1 ball and 1 strike. Cardinals, the inning started and the first pitch being hit for home run number 29 by Nolan Arenado. Donovan a base hit to center. Pujols struck out. Burleson, his second major league hit off the defending Cy Young Award winner. Molina the base hit to left. And that brought in Donovan. The 1-1. 2 balls and a strike. Newbar the strikeout. Now Tommy Edman. Molina, Burleson aboard. The 2-1 pitch. Edman, the high chopper, Wong. Plenty of time and a flip to Adames and a force play at second. Nolan Arenado gets it going with a home run on the first pitch of this inning. That tied it. And then Molina picked up a run batted in. Cardinals have the lead. Arenado is now 1 home run shy for a 30 home run season. That tied the game. Then the Cardinals take the lead 2-1 on what is a historic night for baseball and certainly the St. Louis Cardinals. And John Mozeliak is our guest, the president of baseball operations. And Mo, thanks for joining us for this 3rd inning. As a fan, as the president of baseball operations, seeing these 2 guys doing what they're doing tonight, what's it mean to you?
Well, it's really incredible, and I think we all appreciate what it means. And a lot of people are asking me how to define that. And I think it really, when you think about 2 guys that have been around for 20-plus years, it's really about them having success, them remaining healthy, and them also having the ability to win. And for them to be here and doing this together, it's something I don't think any of us will ever see in our lifetime.
Hunter Renfroe is at the plate. The shift on the left side of the infield. Do you remember the first encounter that you had with both these guys?
I do remember meeting Yadi in instructional league after we had signed him, and obviously just a young man who I remember talking with Dave Ricketts about him, and he was saying how advanced he already was defensively, and that really stuck out in my mind. And then in Waino's case, obviously when we traded for him, met him in spring training, but I really remember going down to watch him at Memphis because we were trying to decide if he was someone that might be able to help us later in the year.
And these 2 guys have made their impact not only between the white lines, but certainly represented the club in a first-class manner in many, many ways. Both are Clemente Award winners. How important is that to you? I mean, I know it's about wins and losses, but having representatives that represent not only the club but the city so well.
Well, I actually think it's almost how you define them. In other words, like, why do we keep trying to re-sign them? Why did we always ask them back? How did we get them to avoid free agency? And it was because we all agreed how special they were, not only for our club, but for the city of St. Louis.
John Mozeliak is our guest. Could you ever have imagined seeing this come to fruition? Even, let's just say, in 2019 when Waino was hurt and then came back, but could you ever imagine something like this?
No, I could imagine Yadi and Waino finishing like they are, but then you throw in that other variable of Albert Pujols joining it.
Yeah.
No, I don't think any of us could have dreamed that up, and to have it be playing out like it is, I think it's just, it's such an exciting narrative to follow and a story that almost seems like it just keeps getting better and better.
Here's Colton Wong, the former Cardinal, and the first time up, Wong walked. How about the crowd here in the reception? We're told it'll be close to 47,000 tonight in the middle of a school night in a Wednesday in September. I mean, this is remarkable.
No, it really is, but I'm not surprised. I mean, here are 2 guys that have meant so much to this community, and now you're seeing the fans come out and appreciate them. And, in a way, that's that perfect marriage.
Do you have a favorite moment with those two?
Oh, boy, that's a tough question. It's probably one I should have been reflecting on more than just listening to you ask me that. But, I mean, I think...
Beltran, obviously, is one.
Yeah, I was going to say, obviously, the impact they had in 06. But, I really think, like, what's so meaningful about both of these gentlemen is really the friendship that has really evolved over time and how much they have meant to all of us that have had the ability to interact. And I think I speak for even people like yourself that, these are guys that truly care about what they're doing. They care about their teammates, and they want to make sure that we're doing it right. And to have like two stewards of an organization do that for you, it just screams success.
Going out Arenado with the shift, and that's dumped in for a base hit into shallow left. Going back to the mid-2000s, who are these guys? Take a look at that, Mo. I'm not sure if you know that. That's Waino on the left, and that's Yachty on the right. Holy cow. Looks like they're kids now, maybe. I mean, that is a long, long time ago. When you guys pulled the trigger on that deal, when you brought in Waino, was he the centerpiece of that? I mean, if you didn't get him back, do you pull the trigger on that?
I think it would have been very difficult. At the time, we realized that we needed to get some form of a prospect back. Obviously, we were giving up a very talented player in J.D. Drew that ultimately, if we had signed him, he would have probably been a fixture for a long time. So, I recall in those meetings that it was really important for us to get something that we believed could be a part of our future for a long time.
Okay, I'm going to put you on the spot. Did you ever think that Albert Pujols would be back in St. Louis?
I never would have closed the door on it, but if you had asked me, say, 6 months ago or a year ago, I would have said, most likely no.
Yeah.
Doubtful, but for everything that happened with the labor situation, and then coming out of that, and then sort of giving all our young players a chance in camp, it obviously all things started to point. Let's give this a try. And I'll say to Albert's credit, I mean, he really wanted to be back here. He could have done something else, but not burning bridges is probably a good lesson for all of us.
I think Ali and you and I have talked about this publicly and privately. Has done a remarkable job, and I said, what a first year. You get a guy going for 700, you get a battery mate record, you get maybe the MVP and a triple crown, you got a third baseman that maybe is the best ever defensively, and oh, by the way, it looks like you have a pretty good shot to win the division. So not a bad opening act here for Ali.
Really, it's kind of incredible when you put it all together like that, and just see how he's navigating it. It's been, amazingly impressive. And, I think he was somebody that we thought obviously very highly of to give him this opportunity, but to see how he's done with it and how he's handled it, it's really impressive. And, I talk to players, and, they tell me how much they admire Ollie and his staff and how they appreciate how much work they put into their preparation and strategy. And so it's really been fun to watch, but he's really kept a calm demeanor down there, and I think our players and staff really appreciate it.
2 balls and 1 strike on Andrew McCutchen. There's old Uncle Charlie.
When you have that, you always have a chance.
And he has it at 3-2. He has it on the first pitch. He can throw it for strikes. The signature pitch for so many years, number 50. Adam Wainwright dropping in for strike 2. Andrew McCutchen. 2-2 the count with 1 out. And the runner at first, Colton Wong, and a check on him. I would say your trade deadline moves have paid off quite handsomely. You have to be pleased with what's going on with that, too.
Well, we set out to try to find pitching. We certainly kicked the tires on a couple other things that we thought could help the club. But, yeah, obviously to see how Q and Monty have pitched for us, it's been super impressive. We were trading from a strength, and obviously we didn't have to give up our top talent to get what we got. And so, how we feel about those acquisitions, we feel really good about them, and we certainly think they've helped us.
In terms of Yachty, Waino, Goldie, Arenado, Albert, realistically, Mo, you could have 5 Hall of Famers on this team. Have you ever thought of it that way, too? I mean, Goldie and Arenado are building it, but it's getting there.
Yeah, we were sort of discussing when you think about the legacy of these types of players, and as you point out, Goldie and Nolan are building it, but their resumes are pretty impressive to date. And then when you think back to really what Yachty and Albert have done, I mean, they're first ballot Hall of Famers. And I think, Waino, if he gets to that 200 win mark, it's probably going to open up a few eyes, because when you look at sort of the current pitching class today, there's not too many guys that are ever going to reach 200. So, I think if he gets there, he's going to give himself a fighting chance to get in. So when you think about those 5 players, it's really impressive, and it's just exciting to be a part of it.
I know fans would be curious. Do you even broach the subject with Waino at any point in time about next year, or you just wait for the dust to settle on 22?
Yeah, I think the easiest way to think about that is first of all, he and I have been through this dance before.
And we've seen that before,
awesome.
too. That is awesome. Wow. Strike him out, throw him out.
2022, same old Yachty, same old Waino, 2-1.
Birthday, he goes the distance, 23rd complete game of his career, and a hug from Yadier Molina.
Throughout the night, some of the great moments between these two. John Mozeliak is our guest, Corey Dickerson at the plate. That was a remarkable game on his 39th birthday, and he had told the coaching staff, just keep throwing me because I know you have no one basically available in the pen, and he goes the distance on his 39th birthday.
Obviously they're both wearing masks when they go out to hug each other,
yeah.
But you think back to that year, and especially when we went up to Chicago to play that doubleheader and to restart our season, and we had nobody that could really go more than 3 innings other than Waino. And for him to do what he did in 2020 was just remarkable, and really he really carried our team in the sense of, from a pitching standpoint, when we had that dead time and we were in quarantine, none of our guys could do anything. And here's a guy at age 38, 39 comes out and really just puts our club on his back from a pitching standpoint.
And an 0-2 pitch swung on and missed, and a strikeout of Dickerson. Bo, you're young players, and you've had, I think, 15 debuts this year of rookies. What do they take away in watching Yachty, Waino, and Albert every day, and the impact that will leave going forward?
Well, I think when you look at sort of the history of the Cardinals, especially in the last 20 years or so, we had guys like Derek Kyle that sort of started setting the tone for that next generation, Chris Carpenter. But when I look at this group now, and obviously you mentioned Yachty, Waino, and Albert, but you also have Goldie and Nolan. And so here you have 3 veterans on sort of the, they're winding down in their career. You have 2 guys that are at their peak. But if you're a young player for the St. Louis Cardinals, you should be watching what these 5 guys do every day and either copy it or speak with them and try to figure out and learn what allowed them to do what they could do. I always say to people, seasons are long, careers are short. These guys defied that, right? They played a long time, and they went pole to pole, and they are an impressive group of people.
We have that shot here of Albert Pujols time and again studying the iPad and what he does, I know, behind the scenes to get ready at the age of 42 to play every day, to answer the bell, is remarkable. And that pitch taken for a strike by Goldie, 3-1 the count. I am curious about it in terms of seeing them as people, and specifically Albert, and maybe you can shed some light on this for our fans that aren't behind the scenes like we're privy to. I say it that he's a different guy. Not that he was a bad guy before, but you're talking about one of the great players on the planet, maybe the best in the prime of his career, trying to be the best for everybody, both on and off the field. And it just seems like this year he's embraced this with open arms.
Look, I have great respect for what he did in his career, especially those 11 years here in St. Louis. But I think what I admire most and what I'm seeing now is, I'm usually down there around 12:30, 1 o'clock to meet with the coaches before our days start to get moving too quickly. And who's the first player there? Albert Pujols.
Is that every day, huh?
And I know he's doing that because he wants young players to understand that you have to be committed, you have to be present, and you have to work at your trade if you really want to be successful. And it's eye-opening.
I thought one of the great shots we had was over the weekend. Arenado with both arms up in the air, Ollie is pointing to Albert. Albert's pointing at him, and this is when he had hit the home run. Skip is going crazy, and the young guys are banging on the top of the dugout. I mean, they are pulling for it. They love what's happening here with these guys.
Well, it's hard not to pull for him, right? I mean, we're all cheering for it. We hope he gets the opportunity. We hope he reaches that 700 plateau. But it's just as a person, you can't help but want him to do well because, you know, he genuinely cares and he gives back to all those players. And it's been, I think that's like the biggest takeaway for me when you think about the importance or the impact he's had on this franchise, especially this particular team, is how much he works with these young players.
You had a favorite moment from Albert? Asked you about Yadi and Waino. What about with Albert?
I mean, I have many, but, you know, I wish we had done better as a club, but that home run he hit in Houston was just, you know, a home run that literally quieted 50,000 people.
Yes. 0-2 the count on Nolan Arenado, who is homered here tonight. And the Cardinals have a 2-1 lead. We get to watch Nolan play day in and day out. Obviously, you do this for a living. And when we would see him maybe 6 times a year, he would put on a play or two, and it was just breathtaking. We see him now every single night. He does something spectacular defensively. Did you realize he was this good?
I don't think anybody can truly have appreciation for a player unless they see him day in and day out. And to your point, we get to see him. His internal clock of when to make a throw is something I've never seen before in a player.
That's popped foul and out of play.
I mean, how many times are you watching him and you're like, oh no, oh wait.
Oh yes.
Right.
We've had a couple of guys here, and Scott Rowland and Arenado, that are just remarkable players defensively and offensively. 0-2 the count with 1 out. The runner at first is Goldschmidt following the strikeout of Corey Dickerson. John Mozeliak kind enough to join us on what is a very special night in baseball right here in St. Louis. Slowly hit up the first base line, and the tag applied by Corbin Burns. Do you know of any type of events maybe that you could tell us about concerning Yadi and Albert? You know, looking forward to that final weekend. I'm assuming that'll be a celebration of not only the team, the year, but probably those two as well. Not to give away too much that you may not know or do know.
Well, what you're hoping for is that we already are having team success by the time we get there, and then, you know, it'd actually be kind of fun if, you know, Albert were to break 700 over that weekend. But we're also pulling for him to do that beforehand. With regards to how we'll recognize them, of course, we'll do something special for them. There'll be gifts, there'll be some presentations, and both those guys, you know, understand that there's still work to do, and so they don't want it over the top. And we also have discussed with them at some point next year, we'll have a day for each of them where they can come back and be recognized.
And they're open to that, obviously?
Yeah, I spoke with both of them, and they're definitely interested in that.
Great. Tough question. I know fans are curious, though, because Albert does have a personal services deal with the Angels. How does that affect him coming back or being involved with the Cardinals? Or do you know anything about that?
Well, I know about it, but I don't know if it's truly been addressed yet. And so I think really, rather than sort of poke at that bear right now, I'm just going to let things sort of settle down.
Sure.
Let the season happen, but obviously at some point speak with Albert and his representation, Danny, and find out, like, you know, what the future might look like.
The 2-1 is pulled foul, 2-2. An impressive year for Brendan Donovan. Good fun player to watch.
Good player, you know, and the thing that's so nice is he just gives you so much flexibility, but takes great at bats, you know, makes pitchers work. I think when he's at his best, he sees a lot of pitches, not afraid to hit with 2 strikes, and that approach to use the whole field is something that I think, you know, this day and age is something every team needs.
Mo, in terms of, it's 3 weeks from today, it's the end of the season. What else needs to be done with this team outside of the obvious, which is win the division?
Yeah, and I think the biggest question for us is going to be, like, what's the roster going to actually look like? Steven Matt's coming back from injury. How do we plug and play there? So there's some roster decisions that need to be addressed, but we have time.
Special night, Mo. Thanks for doing this.
Thanks, Danny.
Really appreciate it. John Mozeliak, President of Baseball Operations. Your bracket and vote for the Cardinals, MLB.com. It's MLB.com/food fight. And have a little fun with that. The food fight. Fourth inning rolls in. Jace Peterson, who singled to left with 2 strikes and scored back in the second. And the first pitch taken for a ball outside. And the next. 1 ball and 1 strike. Jimmy back with us. And a high fly ball off the bat of Jace Peterson. Going back Newbar near the wall and with room and makes the catch. And now a quick word from BJC.
Getting back to normal feels like so much more than just normal. BJC is committed to improving the health of our patients and community.
And the batter, Omar Narvaez, 3 weeks away from the final day of the season. The Mets and the Braves separated by a half game. Albert Pujols 3 home runs shy of 700. Bueno, a kick save and a beauty.
Another one.
Training camp for the Blues not that far away.
It feels like that's been about 3 or 4 starts in a row where he's done that. A couple of them didn't work out, a couple of them have.
And somewhere Jordan Bennington nodding in approval. Nicely done, Bueno.
This is good stuff right here. Gotta get a good foot on it, though. You can't just get pieces of it. Gotta stop it. Look at that. Those big 13s. Little futsal.
And the first pitch is strike. Tyrone Taylor. Sac fly, run batted in the second inning.
How was your little convo with Mo?
Wonderful.
What a nice man. Sometimes. I'm kidding.
Very nice.
The boss. He's the boss, man.
Yes, sir.
I love how methodical he is. And I'm sure that you know what I'm talking about. I don't know if that's how far you guys got, but
Well, I'd say he's patient, and probably a lot more patient than I would be. And I know for a fact a lot more patient than fans. And that's, I mean, I'm a fan. I get
so can you
riled
imagine,
up saying, hey, do this, do that.
Can you imagine how much more patient he is than me then?
Yeah, you'd run this thing into the ground.
Oh, thanks.
And so would I.
No, there would be some yelling and screaming once in a while, though.
A base hit to left by Tyrone Taylor.
Well, I think you learn over the years, right, that sometimes what you have to work with is what you got. So keep it moving, do the best you can, and if everything falls into place, great. If it doesn't, there's really not much you can do. You can only go, you got 40 guys to work with, and then after the trade deadline, I mean, there's only so much you can work with. People are willing to work with you, so you have to be patient.
Yelich hits it up the middle, and it's booted by Donovan into shallow center, and stopping at second base, it'll be Taylor. Donovan with 7 errors on the season. We'll see if they charge him with an error there.
You don't see this happen very often. He's made a few errors, but this ball just kind of eats him up. I think he was playing that as if he was trying to rush it to second base as a double play or something, where he might have had a little bit more time, but it's still a tough play nonetheless, because you're thinking right there second base is close, and if you try to catch that and flip to first, you probably don't have a play.
It is a base hit off the glove of Brendan Donovan.
It's basically a do or die base hit right there, obviously. Kind of like the bare hand at third base.
And there's Willie Adames, who is 1 for 2. Infield hit, slowly put up the third base line and then fly to center field. So 1 for 2 tonight. Aaron Judge, another storyline in the final 3 weeks. 4 home runs away from Roger Maris. He bet on himself, and I'd say he's made a wise bet.
Kidding with that? That is amazing.
Turned down well over $200 million in his walk year. Said, I'm going to bet on myself. Well, he might set the all-time American League home run record.
Well, you know what he's really done, which I've been impressed with, is he has figured out he can go to right field for home runs. He doesn't have to come unglued all the time. And right field in Yankee Stadium is a little fly ball for him. And you see a lot of his balls are just out over the plate, and he just stays with it.
I had never seen him in person until he came through St. Louis. He is a monster. He's huge and can run. He's athletic. I mean, he's truly one of the great players right now in the game. Two and two. Chevy pitch tracks.
Take this right here. Trying to run it back, and Yachty's sitting out there off the edge of the plate a little bit. He catches it right between the chest and gets himself a strike.
The 2-2. And another full count. So runners off with the pitch. Little two-out rally here by the Brewers. Peterson fly to center. Narvaez back to Wainwright. Taylor the base hit to left. Yelich off the glove of Donovan. And now Willie Adames with a full count here in the top of the fourth, with the Cardinals leading 2-1. Wainwright finally set. Two outs, runners off with the pitch to 3-2.
Didn't miss by much right there. That ball just got a little away from him. A little bit underneath it.
And it brings in Rowdy Tellez with Taylor, Yelich, Adames on the bases. Wainwright has been dealing with traffic all night long. Brewers have already stranded 5 in this game. Bases loaded. Rowdy Tellez. And Tellez sends one out to right field. Going back, Burleson. He's there. Let's hear from another Cardinal Hall of Famer on this special night.
Hey, it's Cardinals Hall of Famer Jason Isringhausen. Hey, it just seems like yesterday you guys were coming to the league. Wow, time flies when you guys are having fun, right? Just want to congratulate Yachty and Waino on a record that will never be broken. Way to go, guys. Been fun to watch.
Albert Pujols struck out his first time up. Corbin Burns has struck out 5 tonight. Albert hits a ground ball sharply to Jace Peterson. And the first out.
Still just a little too quick right there.
Alec Burleson with a base hit to left, so his second hit in the major leagues. He gets it against a Cy Young Award winner from a year ago in Corbin Burns. Take a look at our Toyota key to the game.
Well, we were talking about it already earlier. It just took a while to get to it, but just be ready to hit. And I said, guy like this, you got to be ready to hit. Fastball out over the plate. Just take anything inside. This guy is not fun to face. You got to have a game plan that you can stick with, and you cannot let one pitch change your game plan. And that's usually what happens when you're hitting, though. You get up there and you have a game plan, and you'll throw a pitch, and you're like, oh, there goes everything. You start over.
Burleson breaks his bat, hits it down into the right field corner. It's well hit and caught. With his back to the infield, Hunter Renfroe takes an extra base hit away.
That was a nice play by Renfroe right there. And
how about how far that ball went with a broken bat?
Say, that ball wasn't just a broken bat. That ball is almost sawed off by the hands. That's what, 10 feet from going over the wall?
Wow. Here's Yadier Molina with a base hit to left and a run batted in the second inning.
Complete jam shot, cracked broken bat, exit velocity at 90 miles an hour.
With that RBI, that was number 458 at this ballpark for Molina, first all time at Busch Stadium 3. I think Yachty was trying to do a little damage there.
I'm all for that right there. You just got to keep the body under control. Anything's hittable if you're on time.
And nothing in 2.
That's the thing right there. You can just see the shoulders kind of just go a little bit towards left field, and anything that's not middle in is tough to hit. Just easy as that right there.
It's 3 swings. I thought he was going to lose the bat.
I thought he was going to fall over the first time. Second time, you're right. It almost came out of his hands. And right there, that was pretty close to that old throw the bat at the breaking ball away and live to see another pitch.
And the 0-2 pitch.
It'll throw you for a loop if you're a pitcher. A hitter that's been here for 17 years or 14 years, he just takes an 0-2 pitch like he's daring you to throw a strike.
2-2.
2 times in a row.
And Yachty hits it out to shallow right. Hunter Renfroe. We head to the 5th. The chairman of the board of the St. Louis Cardinals, Bill DeWitt Jr., coming up with Jim Hayes.
Special night. I am with Bill DeWitt, principal owner of the Cardinals and CEO. So, Bill, we've been watching Yachty and Waino for a long, long time. What thoughts are you having? What runs through your mind when you see them set a record that probably will never be broken?
Well, I agree with that statement. It'll never be broken in today's world. You know, it just reminds me of all the great times we've had with them, the winning seasons, the championship seasons, and, you know, they're both leaders. They're both so admired by their teammates. You know, it's just a great celebration. 325 starts as a batter is incredible.
I think the amazing thing, too, is they're both playing at elite levels at this stage of their career.
They really are. I know Yachty's saying it's his last year, and I know that it is. Waino, I think there's a good chance he'll be back as well as he's pitched this year. So, you know, at their age and with the miles on them, it's very impressive.
So part of their legacy now, setting this record, is that they've been really good, really durable, and really able to do it for a long time, but with the same ball club. Boy, nice play by Arenado. Got him.
Nice pick, too.
That guy's pretty good.
Yeah.
So
pretty amazing play.
Part of the deal, too, is that they're with the same ball club. And I know continuity is something that's important to you in the organization.
Yeah, we really do value that. And, you know, we try to draft, develop premium players, and we get them, whether it's in the draft or in a deal, which Adam was. It's good to keep them here. And I'll tell you, it's a lot easier for us to keep them here than a lot of teams, because see this crowd tonight? these fans keep good players here.
The energy has been unbelievable, really, since the All-Star break. So when you think about these two, is there one moment that you think about, or is there one that stands out for you?
Well, I have to think about the NLCS Game 7 against the Mets. That's a classic.
Carlos Beltran.
Yeah. When Waino struck out Carlos Beltran, of course, Yadi hit a home run. And I go to New York on occasion, and they still show that video. And you know, the fans didn't like it, but it was a classic and a great moment.
Is there a trickle-down effect having two leaders like Yadi and Waino being around the young players? A lot of young guys on this ball club, and they always tell us how they watch these guys and try to emulate the way they go about it.
Well, they really do. You know, Adam's been a leader of the pitching staff for many years, and I know the younger guys really look up to him and admire how he pitches. And, of course, Yadi is a position player, and it's unbelievable that he is part of this record, too, because it's really tough catching in today's world. So many foul tips, 95-mile-an-hour pitches that he takes in the mask or in his leg or whatever, but he's tough as nails, and, you know, he fights through it.
So you got Yadi still performing at a high level, Waino at a high level. You also got Albert. So I'm going to ask you, I'll put you on the spot. Last thing. Did you see this coming, what we're seeing from Albert Pujols?
Well, you know, when we signed him in the offseason, we knew that he could hit left-handed pitching. I mean, he really had a great year last year. And early on, that's, I think, what we all thought would be, you know, his role. And on occasion against certain right-handers. But, you know, he's just turned it on, something unbelievable. And, you know, I have to say that the energy here and the fact that we're winning, and he's contributed big time to that, game-winning home runs and record-breaking home runs. It's just amazing how he gets fired up for the occasion and, you know, comes through in those big moments.
It's really been fun to watch on a number of levels. I'm going to let you get back to enjoying this special night. I appreciate the chat.
Great. Thanks a lot, Jim.
All right, Danny.
Great stuff, Jimmy, and thank you very much to Mr. DeWitt. The 2-2 pitch taken in the dirt by Colton Wong. Wong has walked, also singled to left, and was caught stealing, part of a double play. Strike him out, throw him out back in the third inning. You don't find many better than that man, Bill DeWitt, and that family. They're wonderful people.
No, sir. And by the way, they are the main reason, and probably, well, I was going to say the only reason, but the main reason why we have what we have going on here.
To their credit, reinvested funds with fans coming out into the product, which means paying players and keeping talent. They've been able to do that.
Look at these people. Well, they are here because of the DeWitts and what they've done to the stadium, the city, this team. They've been incredible.
The 3-2 pitch to Wong, and Colton sends one into center. Lars Nootbaar is there. That was the 6th full count for Waino tonight. Quick word from Tickets for Less.
Tickets for Less, for a better ticketing experience. Best seats, best prices, and no surprises at checkout.
You're told it would be close to 47,000 here tonight. And I mean, they are standing everywhere in the ballpark. Not a ticket to be had tonight. And a fastball up and in to Andrew McCutchen. He is 0 for 2. We will not have a crowd under 40,000 for the remainder of this 2022 campaign. Curveball in for a strike. Energizer, long lasting. A lot of matchups with these two, McCutchen and Wainwright. Ryan Braun, as we mentioned earlier, at 102. Kutch at 86. And he lifts it in the air out to left field. Going back, Dickerson with room. Let's hear from our buddy, 06 world champ, Brad Thompson.
Congratulations, boys. I mean, you made history. This will never be touched again in the history of the game. You guys are incredible, and you guys are also great examples of what it's supposed to look like to be a Cardinal. You have set the example for generations of Cardinals to come. It's been a blast, guys. Keep it rolling. Congratulations.
Lars Nootbaar struck out his first time up. First pitch to him. Fastball taken low. Pitch count at 65 for Burns. And there's activity in the St. Louis bullpen.
You'd like to see that the other way. It's what, 96 or 7 for Adam and only 65 for Burns. You're hoping it was the other way around. Get this guy out of the game.
Well, I wonder if Ollie would say, "I'll let you start the 6th. Any kind of trouble, you come out." It's 7, 8, 9 in the lineup with Milwaukee. The 2-0 pitch, and Nootbaar shoots one out to deep right center at the wall. Goodbye.
Danny, wow, that ball is smoked.
Budweiser play of the game.
Watch the backspin, the down, through the zone, barrel. Woo! That's how it's done right there. That is picture perfect. And that is 400 and something feet away, big time. I can't wait till that one comes out.
452.
Gonna say 420 something, but wow.
452 from Newt. 110 off the bat as Tommy Edman rounds to Les, and the Cardinals have opened up a 3-1 lead.
And if you're Tommy, you almost have to take a pitch right there just to let him admire that. Whew, that ball is crushed.
I mean, you don't get to hit those very often.
Here's Corey Dickerson. Nootbaar first extra base hit since September 2nd. A home run against Chicago. Third time through a lineup. The opposition hitting .238 against Burns. Up the middle and a base hit. Corey Dickerson.
There he goes again. It says that Nootbaar's hang time on that ball was 5.2. I can't imagine that thing being in the air for 5 seconds.
As I say, Jimmy, it's a line drive that turned into a home run.
Pretty good swing right here by Corey. And this is a nice job right here. Just looking out over the plate. Doesn't even get a fastball, but because he's not cheating, he can stay on the breaking ball and
right back up the box.
Well, Goldie is due, sitting on 35 home runs. Hit a ball hard to second and drew a walk.
Now he's going to have to stay out over the plate. He's going to drive a ball into right center. Get something up in the zone a little bit. Go ahead and let it fly. If not, just take what they give you.
That ball he hit to second was one of the hardest balls he's hit probably in the last 4 or 5 games. And then if he's drawing walks, he's starting to see the ball a little bit better. We'll see if that translates into some production here.
You can see the effect of the velocity right there. Even Goldie, will give in a little bit to try and cheat. And when you cheat, you swing at pitches that are off the plate.
Dickerson, your runner at first base. Goldie, a third time through against a starter, is hitting .437, 12 doubles, 6 home runs. Looks like that's going to be it for Adam Wainwright. Getting the hugs, the high fives, visit with Mike Maddox.
You know what that is? That's a heck of a start against Corbin Burns right there.
Andre Palante continues to throw. And the 1-1 pitch. Goldie, a base hit into center. Dickerson to second. He'll stop there. 3 hits in the inning. 7 in the game.
It's one of those things when you look back at Wainwright, and when he has that interview at the end of the night with the Cat, he says, "I gave it everything I had. I tried to match pitch per pitch. I knew that he wasn't going to give up very many runs. And here we go.
Take you back to the second inning. Chris Hook, the pitching coach, out to visit. Nolan Arenado, the first pitch of the inning. A blast into the bleachers in left center. And that's home run number 29. He's driven in 96 on the year. Hit 6 home runs on the first pitch this season, 4th most in baseball. 419, his average on the first pitch. They're stirring a bit in the bullpen for Milwaukee, but no one throwing.
Well, the thing with a guy like this also, too, you don't want him to cruise, so you break it up a little bit, cause a little bit of stir on the home run and a couple guys on base, and then the pitching coach has to come out, just get him off the rhythm and then see what happens. You do anything you can to disrupt what's going on out there when a guy like this is on the mound.
1 out and 2 on. The pitch that misses outside. He's 1 home run shy of 30. Be his 7th season with 30 or more home runs. 4 runs batted in away from 100. That would be his 7th. And a double away from 40. The second time he would have 40 or more doubles. And he grounds it to short. Double play ball. 6-4-3 on the double play. So we played 5 here at Busch Stadium. A couple of home runs hit by St. Louis, Arenado, and this bullet by Newt. And a 3-1 St. Louis lead.
Sports Midwest brought to you by Real Steel. Find yours at steeldealers.com. And by BJC Healthcare, the world's best medicine made better. A packed house tonight. Busch Stadium in St. Louis. Historic night of baseball as Adam Wainwright, Yadier Molina have set the all-time battery mark in terms of starts. 325 together, passing Mickey Lolich, Bill Freehan. And one of them is now out of the game, and that's Adam Wainwright. And with that, a new mask for Yadier Molina.
Well, you didn't think Yadi was coming out, did you? He's going to stay in there for the duration behind the plate.
So Wainwright, 5 innings, 8 hits, gives up a run. It was earned. A couple of walks and struck out 3. 98 pitches. The home run, by the way, hit by Lars Nootbaar, the longest at Busch Stadium this year. 452 feet. Surpassing Nolan Gorman, who was at 449. .98 pitches on the night for Adam Wainwright. Here's Jace Peterson. I thought that he might let Waino go out 7, 8, 9 coming up, and if any kind of trouble happened, then he goes and leaves with the standing O. But you got to win the game.
I think that you are right 100%. But I also think that in this situation, this is a big game, and you don't want to put traffic on the base paths for a guy coming out of the bullpen. And maybe you'd like to see your guy, especially Palante, struggled a little bit in the second half, come in and start a fresh inning.
Palante, 29 games as a reliever, 3-2 with a 2.36 ERA, 45 2/3 innings.
I would have to say, I think the other part of it too is with the 95 pitches, or what'd you say, 95, 97? 98 pitches, but the 8 hits. And I just don't know if you want to keep, you don't want another hit out there, and you don't want to get behind.
It was stressful too. A lot of traffic.
And my thought behind that too, Danny, is you're talking about a base hit and a pitch away from a tie game, or a walk and a pitch away from a tie game. one pitch home run. Anything could happen, and so go ahead and get your fresh arms out there. And in a must-win game, like a playoff game, you're going to have a fresh arm out there right now and see what you got. Might not work out, but it's probably going to be the right move.
Omar Narvaez singled on a 3-2 pitch to center in the second and grounded back to Wainwright.
I think that's to give the manager, where all these sits over there. I think they should give it a seat and just make it red, like a hot seat. Just you sit there and just no bench, just one hot seat. And you're on it all the time. Kind of just par for the course. Win or lose, you're on the hot seat.
I think they feel that one way or another.
I'm telling you. But you know what? I mean, either way, you make the right decision and it doesn't work out. I mean, you're only as good as your players, right? Make the decision, and if it doesn't work out, you look like the guy who made the mistake, and take Adam out, and everyone thinks that you should have left him in, and vice versa.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Narvaez. 0-2.
I also think, too, it's a good idea to get him out of there and get this kind of velocity. Change the hitter's view, perspective. They get seen 87 cutters, breaking balls. They've done a nice job of battling against Adam tonight. Like I said, with the 8 hits and a lot of pitches. So go ahead and get somebody out there that's some velocity with different stuff.
And the 0-2 pitch. Big shift on the right side.
I've been standing there
in the dugout of the Brewers.
I've been standing there on deck saying, oh, come on, just give me one more shot at this guy. Just one more shot. Not to the bullpen yet. There's some guys over there in the blue probably are thinking the same thing, and go ahead and get a new guy.
Well, against Wainwright, 7 of the 8 hits came with 2 strikes. 0-2 the count here. Palante to Narvaez. The next. Slowly hit to the right side. Backhanded by Goldie. Couldn't get it out of the glove cleanly. So advancing Peterson to second. Turn 2 with Ozzie on Monday, September 26th. Cardinals fans can turn a double play on the field right here at Busch Stadium with Ozzie Smith. Picture, autograph, and you're on the field turning 2 with the Wizard. Cardinals.com/Ozzie.
I think not only is that a smart play if he doesn't get it out of his glove, but if you think about it, that base runner's probably going to run to the inside of the base path right there. And if you throw that ball and you can't see second base and hit him, that's what we're talking about, where everything starts to fall apart. That's not what you want to happen right here.
Here's an 0-1 pitch to Taylor. Well, Seattle beats San Diego 6-1. And that is critical for Milwaukee. They are 2 back in the wild card, that final spot of the wild card. The 1-1 pitch. So they trail San Diego now as we speak by a game and a half.
Pretty good pitch right there on the black.
And the 1-2. Struck him out. Another great moment between Wainwright and Molina back in 2016. 2 outs. In 2016, he closes out the Marlins with a complete game. 5-0 shutout. This team was in a sweep down the first base line in 2016, the 10-year anniversary of that team and a team that Adam Wainwright closed out all 3 postseason rounds in 06. And then he and Yachty still going strong 10 years later. Amazing.
I think I was sitting right next to you that night. Right up here, watching from the good angle. Put on a show, didn't he, that night?
He was awesome. So 2 outs and a runner at second and a strike.
You ever think back, we're talking about all this stuff, and think about your own self and think that you've seen every single one of these starts?
Yeah,
every single
I have.
one.
I was asked about it today. Mike Claiborne came over from the radio side and did a pregame interview with me and said, "You've seen more of these games than anybody else outside of maybe some of those in uniform."
Oh, no. I think you've seen them way more than everyone else.
And a high chopper. Palante off the mound, steps, throws, and makes the play. Scoreless inning, Andre Palante, midway through 6, 3-1.
On breaking the major league record for most starts of a battery. You guys have been such a pleasure to watch over the years. You've earned every moment of it, and I just can't wait to see what you guys end up doing the rest of the season. All the best. Congratulations.
One of the classier guys in sports, David Eckstein, with his message to both Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright on this special night. And the 06 World Series MVP as Donovan swings through the second pitch, 0-2. Brendan is 1 for 2 on the night. A base hit to center and a run scored.
You know how we have Radio Brad? We almost had WWE Eck right there at the beginning. I thought he was going to get all WrestleMania on us there for a second.
Very calm in his message to Yachty and Waino.
I wanted to bet he did that about 7 times to be perfect.
Oh, you know he did.
Poor Ashley.
The players have been
videoed him.
So great to, just take the time to do it. And when I contacted the players, he said, absolutely. They're 2 of my favorite teammates. I'll do anything that they need or want. Izzy said, I love those guys. And this is coming from Izzy, who's the Cardinals' all-time leader in saves. But you know what? He gets hurt, and Wainwright takes his spot to close out the World Series. Class.
Izzy said he loves them.
The 2-2 put in play, slowly hit up the middle, nearly off the bat. Donovan almost beat it out.
What a play right there.
Albert Pujols 0 for 2 tonight. Since the All-Star break, those that participated in the Home Run Derby, Albert has the most home runs in the second half with 12, then Rodriguez 10. Alonso at 10. How about lucky number 13 for Albert right here? He's at 697.
There you go. See the different approach right there? A little bit of just kind of out over the plate, closed off the shoulder. Just because he's throwing balls away doesn't mean you can't go out there and get it.
And the 1-0.
It was awesome.
Trying to catch history with cameras, the phones. Two and 1 the count. The way he took that pitch. See if something special may happen here.
Just hope he takes this one right here.
Exploded in, and it's now 2-2.
That's just what the velocity does for you, though, Dan. You see how he kept everything closed, and the ball sneaks in, and he still has to try to catch up.
The 2-2. Did not go. You throw a 2-2. Does he come with a 3-2? If they were sitting, they're standing now. Three-two pitch. And he's hit by the pitch. Albert is waving off Adam Olson. He says he's all right.
That ball's way up and in. You can see he hasn't been able to throw a lot of strikes on that side of the plate. Trying to get inside right here, and this is just gets away, and just glad they didn't appeal that, because there would have been a riot out there on the field.
Just glad he didn't get hurt. So the runner at first, Albert Pujols. Alec Burleson is 1 for 2. Single to left and sent one to the track in right.
Pretty good changeup right there. Starting to mix his pitches a little bit better.
Third baseman Peterson well off the line at third. Short lead at first, the 0-1. A ball and a strike. The 1-1. Tapped foul, and it's 1-2. Burns the last 2 seasons, the Kia player profile. Last year he wins the National League Cy Young. And this year, pretty much on pace, with the exception of the home runs. ERA slightly a bit higher. He'll match, at least you would think, the strikeouts. Right now he is third in strikeouts. Garrett Cole leading the way at 228. Carlos Rodon of San Francisco, the lefty, the former Chicago White Sox starter, at 220, and then Corbin Burns 219. Dylan Cease and Aaron Nola all in the top 5. That was the 9th time that Albert Pujols has been hit by a pitch. 86th time as a Cardinal, second most in franchise history to Steve Evans, 87. He had the most.
I bet never in the back shoulder.
The 1-2. Burleson. Wong. What a little shovel pass that is, and they turn 2. Nicely done, Colton Wong. 3-1 Redbirds. Baseball on Valley Sports Midwest, brought to you by Ford, the official car and truck of the Cardinals. And by Budweiser, this Bud's for you. Huge crowd here tonight. A guy that knows a little bit about pitching and catching, and this duo, Jason Mott.
Hey everyone, this is Jason Mott. I just want to say congratulations to Adam Wainwright and Yadier Molina on their record-setting MLB start tonight as battery mates. Just happy for these guys. Shows the consistency of these 2 ball players and what great ball players that they are. Just want to say congratulations. I'm very proud to have called these guys my teammates. Proud to call these guys my friends. I'm happy for you guys. Congrats, fellas.
Closed out the 2011 World Series. Jason Mott as Jordan Hicks into the ball game. Burleson is out, so Nootbaar shifting from center to right, and DeLuzio is in center. Scoreless inning in the 6th by Palante. And Jordan Hicks. Two balls and no strikes. Willy Adames. You really feel now, Jimmy, with the way that Helsley has pitched this year, it has shortened games up big time. When you get this inning, you get the 8th, you feel comfortable going into the 9th.
You got to get to the 9th.
Got to get there. 2-1.
I'll tell you what, I feel like Jordan right here is just ever so suddenly getting a little bit closer to where he wants to be. I feel like he's finding his mechanics. He's learning each time he goes out there. The erraticness, being erratic is not as obvious anymore. He's being able to kind of slow it down a little bit. He's one of those guys, if that starts to happen, look out.
He's getting more strikeouts here recently. He's on top of the ball a little bit more.
That's
getting
the key.
The break on the slider.
Also the key for him is just going to be throwing strikes ahead in the count early.
The 2-2 pitch to Adames. Swing and a miss. That's his 13th strikeout in his last 11 innings. Quick word from Siteman Cancer Center.
You are someone's favorite person, and your health matters. For the lives you touch, schedule your cancer screening today.
There's Rowdy Tellez.
You know, with Jordan Hicks, it's not all about how nasty you can be. It's how you can use that to your advantage. You know, you have to throw strikes, and you have to do it early, because if you do, you're going to get swings like that, and you're going to get guys defensive. If you're 1-1, 2-1, 2-0 all the time, you're going to get guys that are on the offensive attack, and if you miss a little bit, they're being aggressive and going to put the ball in play.
And an 0-1 pitch to Tellez inside, 1 ball and 1 strike. He is singled to center, grounded out to first, and came up with the bases loaded and flied to right. Wainwright, if you're just joining us, 98 pitches, 5 innings, gave up a run on 8 hits, struck out 3, walked 2. Pitching with a lot of traffic tonight, but was able to pitch out of trouble. Milwaukee is stranded 9 in this game, in for a strike.
Go back to the whole thing about Zach Greinke. Remember, I was telling you, he was so nasty when he was young. He just couldn't find the strike zone. So he got beat up a little bit, always being behind in the count. And then when he figured that out, became a Cy Young winner.
The 1-2.
Look out, Yachty.
At 101. Just talking with our buddy Dan Hyatt the other day, and we were thinking that he's probably caught in live action roughly about 45,000 pitches. And who knows how many have been at 100 plus. You take a beating back there. The 2-2 hit down the left field line. It is slicing, and a foul ball, and a souvenir for this big crowd. Hicks, his 34th appearance, 26th in relief. So the most pitches 95 or better. Nearly 30,000.
A lot of those coming from this guy right here.
And that is yanked foul. Andre Palante in the 6th inning went an inning. No hits, walked a man, and struck out a man. And a 2-2 pitch.
You can just see right there, if you really pay attention to the pace of play, let's say, right, and the pace of the pitcher, you can see his pace changes. And when your pace changes and you overthrow, you get that right there. You can see his body is a little bit the same, but all of a sudden that arm wants to come through, and then what happens? The ball just gets buried.
And now it's a walk.
The difference in the speed of the windup and the speed of the movement, the arm, the body, everything sped up right there once he got ahead. He was really trying to put him away. Instead of just staying the same, let his ball do all the work.
So it's a 1-out walk, and a reminder that here at the ballpark we have the soccer night coming up, STL City SC. That'll be Saturday, September 17th. Cardinals.com/promotions. Jersey giveaway presented by Wells Fargo Advisors. Base hit into right. Charging hard, it is Nootbaar, and Tellez will stop at second. Hunter Renfroe with his first base hit tonight. He's 1 for 4. Cardinals have enjoyed 1-1-2-3 inning, and that was back in the 5th. That included the outstanding backhanded play by Arenado and pick from Goldie at first. Runners at first and second. Colton Wong at the plate. He has walked tonight. He is also singled and was caught stealing, part of a strike him out, throw him out to end the 3rd. And the 1-0 pitch by Jordan Hicks. On its way. Foul down the left field line and out of play.
The pace right here is just a little bit smoother. See that right there? Everything kind of in order. I'd love to get a little side by side with the timer and see when he rushes how much quicker the arm action is.
1-2. And a 1-2 pitch by Hicks. Ground ball, right side. Goldie. The out there, back to Hicks at first, and they'll get it out. Runners at first and third for McCutchen. Our crowd tonight, 46,459. 46459, the 22nd sellout this year. Cardinals began this year thinking they would draw 2.8, maybe 2.9. And it looks like they're going to push 3-3. And Yachty wants to talk this over with McCutchen coming up. Take a look at our Budweiser What's on Tap. And tomorrow it is Chase Anderson and Miles Michaelis. We saw Anderson go into the rotation against St. Louis a couple of weeks ago. Budweiser What's on Tap. We're on the air at 6:45 the first pitch. And that is game 1 of a 5-game series. The Reds and the Cardinals tomorrow from Busch. Doubleheader on Saturday.
Okay, you're the catcher. You go out there. What's your advice right here? With his stuff, McCutchen coming to hit. I'm going to turn the tables on you now. What do you got?
Well, I'll go back to earlier this year. Drew Verhagen dropped in a curveball, and McCutchen has struggled at times against that. However, we're talking about a guy with overpowering stuff with a fastball, if right. Middle, outer half, get him to chase and roll over.
I was thinking the same thing. I think just try to get the strike out over the plate and down. Because he's got to speed up to catch up, right? So make him speed up, but keep it out there for the strike. Try to see if he hit the ball on the ground. I think he's just going to sit there and take because he knows he can wait it out.
Verhagen came in with the bases loaded against McCutchen maybe about 4 or 5 weeks into the season, and they went with Verhagen because of the breaking ball and the struggles that McCutchen has with that. However, this is a different type of pitcher. It'd be that pitch there, but up, middle, and on the outer half.
Yep, I'm with you. I just like to see strikes. I feel like he's rushing just a bit.
And a 3-0 pitch. Gallegos begins to throw for St. Louis. Runners at the corners. The go-ahead run at the plate. Tying runs at first and third, and McCutchen looks at another strike, and it's 3-2. Plaza Tire Service pitch tracks. The crowd again comes alive. Out of play. Runner at first is good speed, and Colton Wong. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. That's the pitch.
Well, you gave him enough fastballs to see he's going to have to turn it up a notch. That's what happens when you throw strikes. You're going to have to get guys to turn it up to chase after it.
Let's hear from John Jay, 2011 World Champ.
This is 2011 World Champ John Jay, and I want to send a special congratulations to Yadi and Waino on breaking the all-time battery mark. You guys were not only some of my all-time favorite teammates, but some of the guys that had the biggest impact on my career. Congrats, guys.
Bottom of 7 rolls in. Here's Yadier Molina. RBI single for Yadi. Back in the second, the Gateway Honda dealers donate $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of Missouri if the Cardinals hit a home run. And the 0-1 pitch to Yadier Molina. Did not go. So once again, $1,000 to the Make-A-Wish Foundation, thanks to area Honda dealers. See if Yadi can't add to that here in this 7th inning. Pitch number 93 coming up from Corbin Burns. 1-2. The base hit to left that scored Brendan Donovan back in the second. The Cardinals 2 solo home runs. Nolan Arenado in the 2nd inning. And then the furthest ball hit at Busch Stadium this year, Lars Nootbaar, and a home run to right center, his 12th of the year. 1 ball and 2 strikes.
I'm going to try to keep Burns out there as long as they can. Try to sneak him a win. The most pitches he's thrown all year is 113, so got a few left, but running out of time.
Slowly hit. Coming in, Adames, he'll glove and makes the play. StatCast powered by Google Cloud, and this home run, the longest at Busch Stadium in 2022. A bullet that gets out at 452 feet. And a pitch taken low. And taken for a strike. Started him off with the breaking ball. Cardinals two more home runs hit tonight. 56th time they have hit 2 or more home runs in a game. And when they do this, they're 46-9. The importance of the home run in today's day and age of baseball.
I love it right here. 2 quick strikes. Put the shift on, sinker away. Sometimes it just blows me away at the program that's going on out there.
Ouch. Looking ahead to the 8th inning, it'll be 7, 8, and 9 coming up for Milwaukee. The longest home runs hit at Busch this year: Nootbaar, Gorman, and Pujols. Salvador Perez of Kansas City, Vladimir Guerrero Jr. on the top 5.
That does not feel good.
And the 1-2. The 2-2 pitch to Lars Nootbaar. Pitch number 100 of the night, taken just outside. So you mentioned how they're gonna push Corbin Burns. What a take here by Nootbaar. This really is do or die for them in a way. I mean, you've got to win these games head to head with the Cardinals.
What are you going to do? Who are you going to bring in other than Williams right now? You're down by 2. Still got a few pitches left in him.
Backhanded by Wong and throw it away. And into the camera well.
Tell me you haven't seen that a few times.
Pretty nonchalant on that play.
Well, it's just the plays that get him in trouble, right? He makes a great play and he's got all kinds of time and he just flips it. That was a lot of the stuff that got him in trouble here in the first couple of years in his career. And I thought he finally fixed this, and there is no reason for him to throw this ball. He's too good. He's got all kind of time.
And so now it brings in Tommy Edman, the big run out there at second base. And another visit with Chris Hook, the pitching coach. Let's take you back to 2006 and another great memory supplied by Waino and Yachty.
0-2 pitch. Wainwright has the sign he wants. Swing and a miss. The Cardinals are world champions for 2006.
325th career start as battery mates tonight. Waino would close out the 06 World Series. I still think the moment that will define his career is Beltran.
Another way, I was thinking too, that was not even a really good curveball. That he almost like backed up and threw it by him, but the Beltran curveball was something special. It had some break and some action. But that was just perfect timing, perfect pitch right there at the end of that World Series.
Strikeout of Brandon Inge. Highest average since August 23rd. The Indeed player resume. Tommy Edman, 382. Trying to extend his hitting streak to 15 games. He's 0 for 3 tonight. Pitch number 103 by Burns. I'm going to push him to the limit here tonight. They've got an off day tomorrow. They're coming from an off day on Monday, even though they had a bullpen start last night. But it is all hands on deck right now, head-to-head with the Cardinals and the team that they're chasing and running out of time. Edman with a fly ball into right center. Shallow, and the catch made by Taylor.
Danny, believe it or not, this is only the 6th time all year he's thrown over 100 pitches.
The Craig Counsell normally very cautious with his big guys. They don't go very deep a lot. And so with Dickerson coming up, Boxberger is throwing in the bullpen, a right-hander for Milwaukee.
I just don't know, those sayings like, how do you know with your gut when's the right time to take somebody out when he's cruising? And what do you got that's better?
but you're going to run out of time eventually with the pitch count. So might as well get him as far as you can get him.
So 2 outs and a runner at second base.
That win last night, they didn't gain any ground with San Diego winning, so it's another kind of do-over as far as trying to catch up to that wild card.
San Diego losing tonight against Seattle.
That's a double hurt right there. If you can't gain ground last night and then you lose with this guy on the hill and then you lose another game in the wild card, that stings a little bit. So of course all hands on deck right now for Craig Counsell. And your best hand is on the mound.
1-2 the count. Tonight has been a good test for PitchCom. Postseason play, is that going to work? It's going to get loud in these stadiums. It's been electric here tonight.
Oh, and we've seen it even worse, and PitchCom hasn't worked a couple of times. You imagine when it really gets loud and it stays loud.
And a 1-2 pitch to Corey Dickerson. Ground ball right side, fair. Taken by Tellez. He'll step on the bag. Cardinals strand their 5th of the night. We head to the 8th. Let's hear from another Cardinal All-Star.
This is 2009 All-Star Ryan Franklin. I want to congratulate both Yachty and Waino on this historic night. Congrats to 2 of the best.
Historic night here at Busch Stadium in St. Louis. For the best coverage in the game, check out the T-Mobile coverage cam and a new record set. Start number 325 with Yadier Molina and Adam Wainwright. And to strike him out, throw him out. Yachty's reaction to that, he got cold long. 3-1 our score as we move to the 8th inning. And the new pitcher in for St. Louis, Giovanni Gallegos.
How about Colton Wong's reaction? I looked like he looked in the dugout. I was like, you really just made me run? Did you not realize what was going on behind the plate? Did you see his look?
Chevy called to the pen, Giovanni Gallegos. He's only been scored upon in 1 of his last 10 appearances with a 2.70 ERA. A couple of saves, 2 holds. Making his 51st appearance. Pitched 4 days ago at Pittsburgh. Went an inning. No hits. And it was a quick inning. 7 pitches, 5 strikes. And the first delivery, a ball to Jace Peterson. DeYoung is at shortstop. Tommy Edman goes from short to second. Tyler O'Neill in left field. DeYoung will bat second. O'Neill bats 5th. And the 1-0 pitch. A strike. Cardinals looking ahead to the 8th inning. Have Goldie Arenado. Those 2 coming up. And then Tyler O'Neill. Peterson has been on base twice. 1-2.
Well, if you're DeYoung or O'Neill, you better be loose because you know the ball will find you right away. Pretty good pitch right here. This is where you just have to throw strikes, keep the ball down and away, not walk anyone, get a 2-run lead, pitch like it, and be aggressive.
And the 1-2, take it high. Jordan Hicks win an inning. Gave up a hit, no runs, walked a man, 2 strikeouts. And a 2-2 pitch. Yanked foul. It's been a frustrating night for the Brewers offensively. They have stranded 11. They have out hit the Cardinals 9-7. Out of play.
Neither team really have done much with runners in scoring position tonight. So just fight and scratch and claw for everything you got.
The 2-2 pitch inside, and it's 3-2. Gallegos has appeared 4 times against Milwaukee with a 1.69 ERA this year. They're hitting just 125 against him. On the season, the righties 180, lefties a 250 average. (3-2). Fly ball into left center. DeLuzio over, and he'll make the catch. Halfway to St. Paddy's Day. And that will be September 15th. Cardinals and Reds. Purchase of a special theme ticket. Receive a one-of-a-kind Cardinals flannel shirt. Tickets or more info, visit cardinals.com/theme. 1 out, Omar Narvaez, the batter. And so far, so good from the Cardinal bullpen. Palante scoreless 6th. Hicks scoreless 7th. Gallegos has gotten the first here in the 8th after 5 innings from Adam Wainwright. First pitch. Strike 1. Gallegos, his best work has been on the road. ERA barely above 1. At home, he's 1-4. ERA above 5.
That is not to the norm. I would love to find out when you see those splits. Maybe like the following year. You know how you used to do those interviews all the time and you sit in that little trailer behind right field back in the day, pre-COVID. Have those little questions like, hey, was there any reason why? I mean, this is just for us, but any reason why you pitch better on the road or hit better on the road, or how did you feel? Why was it split so different? I would love to know. I would love to just be able to say, sometimes he puts himself under a lot of pressure coming out of the bullpen at home with, the cheers, whatever. Not to give anything away, but I think it's interesting part of the game. Like, how do you come up with those kind of splits, and especially here at home? How you're not fired up to go out there and pitch in front of your home crowd? Maybe too much.
It happens. 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss and a strikeout blocked by Yachty. April 6, 2007, where it all began. It was a nasty breaking ball and a strikeout for Adam Wainwright.
It's my first one I've ever had in the big leagues, so there's some meaning there. It's special for me, but now my job is to help the team win.
And here we are. Fast forward to 2022. Yachty still behind the plate. And that was the first start for Adam Wainwright after closing out the World Series in 2006. And he was awfully good that night. Their first start 15 years ago. And he went 7 innings, gave up 5 hits. First batter he faced was Craig Biggio, who, by the way, popped out to Molina for their first out. His first strikeout was Chris Burke.
That was it, what you showed right there. That was Mr. Chris Burke.
They would turn a 1-2-3 double play at one point. There was an attempted squeeze.
There was always something going on against Houston.
And Albert Pujols was in the middle of that one, too.
Talked about that at the Open. We had those little stats down there with these two guys pitching and catching. And those days against the Houston Astros were as tough as battles as you've ever been in. And it was loud on the road, and it was intense. PitchCom's not working in the Astrodome, by the way.
Fun games.
I can't wait. Houston in the playoffs. PitchCom is not going well.
1-2 the count on Tyrone Taylor.
Told you when I was on deck and Albert was hitting and we were behind, it was so loud in my helmet, in the ear hole, I had to lift my helmet off my head to get the noise from echoing in the little hole in my helmet. It was that loud.
strikeout of Taylor. And another former teammate chiming in on this special night.
Hey, it's Matt Adams. Just wanted to wish Yadi and Waino congratulations on breaking the record for most starts as battery mates. A record that probably will never be broken or touched again. Great job, guys. It was an honor to play with both of you, and just congrats on reaching that record and breaking it.
Cardinals host the Reds that day. 12,000 kids ages 15 and younger entering with a ticket go home with their very own stadium exclusive Build-A-Bear Workshop Bear. And for tickets or more information, visit cardinals.com/promotions. 60th appearance for Boxberger. Pitched last night, win an inning, no hits, 9 pitches in the ball game. Paul Goldschmidt has walked and singled tonight. Up and in and a ball. Goldie, Arenado, who is homered, then Tyler O'Neill. If anybody can reach Albert Pujols, this is our Chevy call to the pen. Up and in. Sliders away. It's been happening for 150 years. That's how you get people out.
You can bank on that slider away.
You got it.
Almost every time you get a ball up and in. That's how I hit my first homer. Told you that story, right?
Oh, yeah. Many times.
Got knocked down. Said, I am betting everything on a breaking ball right here. And got it.
Two strikes on Goldie. So we've been playing baseball for well over a century, and it's historic tonight. Start number 325. It had never been done with battery mates Molina and Wainwright. Incredible. Shallow left center may drop, and it will. It's a base hit.
Oh, he needed that, didn't he?
Second hit tonight for Goldie.
Take them all when you can get them, because they don't come very often like that.
Another great moment between Waino and Yadi.
Adam Wainwright looks in and gets the sign. Swing and a miss. He struck him out, and the Cardinals will go to the National League Championship Series.
Matched up that night with Garrett Cole. Went pitch for pitch against him. Won it, went the distance. And the Cardinals had beaten the upstart Pirates. Here's Arenado, who hit a home run back in the second inning. And that is pulled foul, and it's 0-2. Cardinals facing their 10th consecutive right-hander tonight. Mike Minor scheduled to go Saturday against Cincinnati if you're thinking about a lefty and Albert Pujols. Could have a 1-2 finish in the MVP this year. Goldie is running. Arenado hits a little flare out to center and caught. Goldie took a chance. It'll turn into 2. They started the runner, and that's the risk that you run in doing so. The Cardinals have hit into 3 double plays tonight. He figured there was nothing he could do, so take a chance.
Got some kind of jump, didn't he?
See if it drops.
I think when you get that good of a jump and you're stealing the bag, you're hoping the guy behind you's not swinging. And once he does, if you don't pick it up, you keep going.
There is Tyler O'Neill. And the 0-1 fouled back. 0-2, and these fans would love to see O'Neill get on not only for the team, but I want to see the guy on deck one more time too, and that's Albert Pujols.
There's a lot of people out there going, we're going to have to wait till the 9th? We're going to get out in the 8th?
Take an eye, and it's 1-2.
Can we get him to hit so some of us can kind of sneak out, avoid the traffic? Because no one's leaving until you hit, my friend.
Off the plate. So 2 outs, nobody on, and a 2-2 pitch. O'Neill with a ground ball hit to third. Peterson has it. O'Neill beats it out. 46,459. Never cheered that loudly over somebody sprinting down the first base line. He struck out, grounded out, was hit by a pitch. Give Tyler O'Neill a ton of credit getting down the line. He was busting it. Albert is 0 for 5 head-to-head against Boxberger. They're on their feet again at Busch. And time call. Ball 1. The 1-0 pitch. Two and 0. Outfield extremely deep. Shortstop on the outfield grass. 2 balls, no strikes. The next. Foul back.
Just a touch late. Just a touch late. Good take.
3-1. Albert sitting on 697 home runs. 3-2. On its way. Albert, a line drive into the gap in left center, and that ball is down. O'Neill will score easily. Albert Pujols on his way to second. 4-1, St. Louis. Run batted in, number 2,200 for Albert Pujols. BJC, healthcare difference maker, giving the Cardinals some insurance late.
That's what happens when you don't try to go deep and you just try to do your job. Talk about it all year. When he starts doing that, the home runs will start coming again. looked a little quick earlier in the game, didn't he? The angle was going down and steep, and right there he got flat, just like the old Albert, and hit the ball right back up the middle.
It's a birthday present for Jenna Jarvis. Happy 16th birthday, Jenna Jarvis. And Albert Pujols gives the Cardinals a little cushion on this very special night here in St. Louis. 4-1 as we step aside. By authority of the St. Louis Cardinals, not to be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the St. Louis Cardinals. RBI number 2,200 for Albert Pujols in his career. And the first pitch, Trevor Kelly to DeLuzio, taken for a ball.
How about this guy with your 4th at bat of your career? Sidearm, nasty slider.
DeLuzio with 1 hit. Took him 8 years to get to the big leagues.
The great thing about that, Danny, he's only 28 years old. Got lots of time left.
Runner at second, Albert Pujols. And it is a count of 3 balls, no strikes with Yadier Molina on deck. Foul back, 3-2. The Brewers will have the top of their lineup coming up. Yelich, Adames, and Tellez. Ryan Helsley getting loose. The All-Star this season for the Cardinals. One of them. 3-2 pitch. And he walked him. Second walk the Cardinals have been issued tonight. Molina is 1 for 3 tonight. RBI single to left back in inning number 2. He's fly to right, grounded out 2 short. And it's a ball game in which all 3 of these legends here in St. Louis have contributed. Waino 5 innings. Yadi a caught stealing as well as the RBI base hit. He's been behind the plate. Pujols giving the Cardinals insurance here in the 8th. Fans have gotten their money's worth. And Yadi hits it softly to Colton. Cardinals strand a pair, but they had a run. 4-1 as we head to the 9th inning here in St. Louis. It connects, and that'll be Molina, Pujols, and Adam Wainwright, presented by Coca-Cola and Deerbergs, the triple bobblehead. September 18th, 30th, and October 1st. He has dominated this year. The Chevy called to the pen. Ryan Helsley, the opposition, hitting 129. He's allowed a total of 25 hits. He has struck out 82. The right-hander is hitting 116. The lefty's 146. He's made 5 appearances against Milwaukee this year. Couple of saves, 6 innings, 1 run. That was a home run. He has struck out 8. And we talked about
Gallegos, the numbers not great here at home. Same cannot be said about Ryan Helsley. 5-1, 12 saves, and a 1.64 ERA here at Busch Stadium. 48th appearance. He pitched on September 11th, 3 days ago. Earned save number 16 against the Pirates. Win an inning. Gave up a home run, 9 pitches. And for the most part, Ollie's been able to keep him fairly sharp and rested. It's Christian Yelich with 2 hits tonight. Strike one. The most pitches caught since 2000. Molina, A.J. Pierzynski, 1 and 2. Incredible amount of pitches. And the 0-1 by Helsley. Nothing in 2.
Come on now. That is nasty. It's like wiffle ball right there.
It really is.
And the wiffle ball swing too.
And an 0-2 pitch to Yelich. Hit out of play. The fastball at 102. A win tonight would give Adam Wainwright number 106 in his career at home. Regular season. Be one back of Haynes for second at home. In Cardinals history, Bob Gibson at 117. And the 0-2 pitch to Yelich. Hit sharply to third. There's Nolan Arenado. There's the first out of the ninth. So the Cardinals with this duo passing Lolich, Freehan of the Tigers, nearly 50-year-old record. We start number 325 in regular season play with these two. Willy Adames. Infield hit back in the first, fly to center. He has walked and struck out. Shift on the left side of the infield. And they hit the ball.
He did. Broke one of the letters back there on the cement. Sheesh. How about the noise? He hit the ball. That was Yachty's sign right there. Like in Bull Durham. Not too many strikes now. Come on.
Ooh, and that one catches Molina. 1 ball and 1 strike. Home plate umpire Eric Backus giving Molina a little time. Cardinals went with Wainwright with 5, Palante the 6th, Hicks the 7th, Gallegos the 8th, and now Helsley here in the 9th, and that got the right shoulder of Yadier Molina.
Just feel like there's so little padding there because of that throwing shoulder. It is almost the spot that you get it all the time too.
Taken high, and it's a count of 2 balls and a strike. The Cardinals got a home run by Arenado in the second. RBI single by Molina to put St. Louis on top 2-1. Then a long home run by Nootbaar and an RBI 2-out double by Albert Pujols. 2-2. The 2-2 pitch. Time called as Adames stepped away. Rowdy Tellez on deck. Cardinals trying to pick up win number 84 here tonight. And the 2-2 from Helsley.
Swing and a miss. He missed it by a foot. And Helsley has struck out the first two here in the ninth.
Maybe looking fastball.
Oh, I would say so.
He got him a couple breaking balls. Took a pretty good swing at that slider that Helsley hung, and then so he was guessing fastball and did not get it. And that ball, you're right, bounced before the plate. And I'm going to go with maybe more like 2, maybe 3 feet.
Rowdy Tellez, the final hope. Strike one. Magic number right now at 14 with a win, reduced to 12 and a split in the series. The 0-1 pitch. Lined into center and a base hit. Tellez on base for the third time tonight. 2 singles and a walk. It extends the ball game.
Got a pretty good swing for a big guy. You know, he's got a pretty flat, stays through the middle. He's not just a big power hitting pull guy. It's a pretty nice swing right there.
Ground ball foul and strike one. Hunter Renfroe at the plate. He is struck out looking. Popped out to short. Robbed by Arenado. And a base hit to right.
It's another one of your buttons, your radio buttons. Robbed by Arenado. Pushed out a few times over the course of the year.
No doubt. The 0-1 pitch. Backed up for a ball. Renfroe 0 for 4 with a strikeout head-to-head against Helsley. And a count of 1 ball and 1 strike. The next. 1-2. And the Brewers down to their final strike.
He's had that same look since like April 10th.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Helsley ends it with a strikeout. Magic number down to 12. The Cardinals win it 4-1 on a historic night in Major League Baseball right here in St. Louis.
What a great game, Danny. What a great game. Congratulations to those 2 guys. Great job against a really tough pitcher, and hello bullpen. They go out there and only give up 2 hits. What a great job by everybody, but that man right there, nice at bat, I think made it a big difference right there, that go ahead, that jug run to put him, take him by the jugular and put him away. But nice job everyone, and congratulations one more time to Yadi and Waino.
Start number 325 as battery mates. It was win number 195 for Waino in his career, 5 shy of 200. Albert Pujols drives in RBI number 2,200. What a night here at the ballpark, and the postgame show comes your way next.